for the Sacramento Kings in round one. We were just talking real quick, looking around the NBA scoreboard from last night. We got sidetracked on Oklahoma City versus Utah. OKC beat the Jazz last night, 119-107. We talked about facing the Thunder in round one for the Kings and your confidence level in that matchup. Would you rather see, though, because I think these are the two teams that if you're choosing for the Kings, this is the way you'd want your path to start with either Oklahoma City or Minnesota. Which matchup would you prefer?
It's a coin flip, really. I think without Cat, I'd probably want Minnesota.
See, I want no smoke with Anthony Edwards.
I get that, but I mean, 2 years from now, I would agree, but I don't know that he's so elite that he can carry you through an entire playoff series.
I think you need 4 games. Okay, so, and it's the same reason I think the Kings can win any playoff series. Not to say Anthony Edwards is as good as De'Aaron Fox. He's not. He hasn't done enough yet. But I think you're seeing in this stretch without Karl Anthony Towns, the peaks have been high enough and often enough that I just don't want to deal with those problems.
Okay, so when it comes to Minnesota, here's my problem with Minnesota when it comes to the Kings. I think almost every other team in the league has an ability, maybe not Denver, but most of the other teams that we're talking about, they have a way of playing Rudy Gobert off the court.
Sure.
I don't think the Kings have that ability because you have Domantas Sabonis. And so there is an aspect to it where, yeah, you can get Gobert caught in a bunch of screen and rolls up top, and you're going to be able to pull him away from the basket a little bit. But I also he usually plays not only major minutes, but he plays well against the Kings. I think that Domantas Sabonis usually comes out on top, but he is a difficult matchup, and I don't think that that's the same for a team that goes like Kevin Durant at the center position, or when you look at all of the screen and roll guys that Dallas has.
Right.
They don't have conventional centers that make sense for Gobert to hang in against. Now, you need 3-point shooting centers, so maybe you can go Trey Lyles and go small ball and beat up and get him off the court for stretches. But that's in the 8 or 9 minutes that Domas isn't going to be on the court in a playoff series.
I'm stuck on the Anthony Edwards thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Since Karl Anthony Towns went down 7 games ago, so 7 games, they've won 4 of them. But again, at Indiana, they won. At Cleveland, they lost. At the Lakers, they lost. At Clippers, they won by a bunch. And then they won 2 at Utah. They lost by 3 to Denver at home a couple nights ago.
Okay.
Anthony Edwards in those 7 games, 31.1 points, 7.3 boards, 5.4 assists, 1.7 steals, 1.4 blocks, and he's shooting 48% from the field on 26 attempts a game.
So basically, he's turned into Shea.
Yes. Ostensibly.
But Shea's doing that with a real team.
Yeah.
So
it's he's having the kind of run where he's dragging them back into a game where they were getting blown out by the Nuggets. Mm-hmm. He has a chance to win it from 3. He had the big block in that first game without Karl Anthony Towns against Indiana.
Yep.
He had the block to win it. He's just doing all these things night in and night out, whether it's in the box score or this one big play at the John Collins dunk, where this is vibes, where I could see him just taking over a series, winning that series, and everybody being like, oh my God, Anthony Edwards has arrived. He's here. And I don't want to be on the receiving end of that. That's all.
I get that. But I would also, my argument would be if he doesn't get that block, they're 2-5 over that stretch. They're 3-4 and
4-3.
Oh, I thought they were 3-4. So
they'd be 3-4.
Okay.
Over that stretch.
They'd be 3-4, and that's not like Murderer's Row.
No.
No, they beat Utah twice. They beat the Lakers. Who else did they beat? Oh, Indiana.
Clippers. The Clippers win is impressive, and then losing the loss to Denver was an impressive game. But even in that game, they got 26 from Jaden McDaniels, which they're not going to get on a nightly basis. No, I totally get. I think you're right. You said coin flip at the beginning, and I think that's probably about right.
Yeah,
but I'm going to go with the team for the same reason. Look, I thought the Kings were better than the Warriors last year, but I thought the Warriors would win the series if they did, because they'd just been there before. It's the Kings' first time there.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I feel about Oklahoma City. It's Oklahoma City's first time there. Yeah, okay, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander might be the MVP, but Chet's not a good, or I'm sorry, Domas is not a good matchup for Chet.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, they don't have a single player who scares me the way, and I love Shea. I picked him to be MVP. I love Shea. But I don't think there's a player between those two teams that scares me more than Ant in a playoff series.
Okay.
I think. That's where I land right now.
It's tough.
That's the deciding factor. Like you said, it's a coin flip. That's just because I'm on the radio and I have to pick one. That's the reason I would pick the Thunder over Minnesota.
Okay. No, it's
if I'm
fair.
Picking a matchup for the Kings.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I definitely would not want to. I mean, both of them are good teams, and that at the end of the day, I think the limitations of some of the 3-point shooters, like Josh Giddey isn't a great 3-point shooter. You have to defend Lou Dort now like nonstop. Like,
yeah,
like, that's the one thing. Like I was surprised to see OKC is number 1 in the league in 3-point percentage.
Yeah, dude, every single dude can shoot.
Yeah, I mean it's
Isaiah
crazy.
Joe can shoot it.
Jalen Williams is shooting 44.4% from 3. What in the world?
Yeah. Dude, the West is a gauntlet, man. There's no easy path for sure. But we have more regular season to get to before the Kings can even get there. They're in the number 6 seed right now. That is not a guarantee. If they want to get that 6 seed, they got to do things like win tonight.